what does, you lived in the suburbs. You
Yes.
lived in Gaithersburg. You moved to DC. What does DC have for a family who wants to move that other places don't? What makes DC special to live that most people don't even think about?
Yeah, so it's funny because growing up in in Germantown and DC, I mean in Gaithersburg and all that, like honestly, I hardly ever came to the city, and so it's weird because you live so close to the city, yet you're never here. Aside from that, at the time when we were growing up, DC had a bad reputation. There was a lot of turmoil. It wasn't the best place. So when I moved to the city, it was more for work. And as I've grown up as I've lived in the city, and my daughter, who's was born in 2008, now she's 14. She as raising my daughter in the city and all that, I love it so much. So what does DC have to offer that the suburbs don't have to offer? Honestly, a lot. It's crazy. So when people think of coming into the city, they think of traffic. You're stuck. Parking, tickets. I don't like tickets either. I hate them. And well, at the University of Maryland, I got so many tickets, it's terrible. So
they like hide in the bushes. DC, no joke about that. Yeah,
it's bad. So the point is that here in the city, it's one of the healthiest places to live, because when you're in the suburbs, let's face it, you're traveling to work, you're coming back, and by the time you get home, you just want to eat dinner, spend a little bit of time with your kids, and then veg out on doing whatever you enjoy doing, watching a game, watching a show, whatever.
Yeah.
And so the point is, you don't get to spend time in your neighborhood because by the time you get home, you're frustrated and you're anxious and you just want to veg out. And so when you're living in the city, honestly, I can walk most places. I bike all over the city. Last year, I got a couple e-bikes for me and my girlfriend. So it's just amazing, like being all over the city. I even bike into the suburbs sometimes. DC, often when people think of big cities, they think of dirty, and a lot of concrete, a lot of buildings. Well, DC is very different. So DC has a height restriction on buildings. So unlike New York City or Chicago or some other place, when you walk in DC, you're always going to see the sun. I mean, there's buildings are not allowed to be built to higher than the Capitol. There's only one building in the city that has that, which is the Cairo in DuPont. It was built prior to that height restriction. Aside from that, in the suburbs, you have let's say Gaithersburg, Germantown, Damascus, Clarksburg, and then you go out to Frederick, etc., Rockville, Bethesda, and so you have these centers that are cities that are their own communities, and then you have subdivisions inside of those communities. Well, in the city, it's like the way I like to think about it is you have village. You're living in your neighborhood, and they're villages. And the reason they're villages is because you get to spend more time in them. You walk around, you walk to the grocery store, you walk your dog, you bike to work, etc. And so you're meeting your neighbors, and you create that feeling of, I know these people. So it's like a small city feel, a village feel in the nation's capital, the most powerful city in the world. I mean, it's pretty doggone amazing. So you have communities like Columbia Heights, Mount Pleasant, Shaw, Logan, etc., DuPont, Georgetown, Glover Park, Palisades, Crestwood, and so you have all these awesome neighborhoods, and within the neighborhoods you have you have so much to do. It's really quite awesome.
Find someone who knows more about DC. I dare you, because that is awesome. Kind of breaking down the DC being available for families, available for neighborhoods. It's something you don't think about.
That's right.
The streets are tree lined. You walk around, you want tree-lined streets, there they go. Talk about cleanliness. As we were sitting here, the street cleaner came by and cleaned the streets.
Yeah.
That's every week here. So DC has a lot to offer that doesn't even include the fact that you are just minutes from the monuments, minutes from the zoo, minutes from all these things that people come from all around the world to take advantage of. Your minutes from that and your family, which is phenomenal. And I love that. So if you're out there looking for a place for a family, a place to live that reduces your commute, talk to Lou. He can help you put together that opportunity to live inside the nation's capital. So go to Viva the Life. How can they reach out?
Go to my website, vivathelife.com. You've got Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and I'm on those platforms, obviously LinkedIn, and so you can contact me in multiple different ways. I would prefer a text, 240-479-9124. But you know what? Whatever way you choose to reach out to me, I'll try to do my best to be as responsive as possible. And so that's
We focus about DC, but you do take care of the DMV completely.
Absolutely, yeah. So growing up in Montgomery County, my office used to be in Bethesda for from 2004 to 2016. Then I moved into DuPont, and now I'm in Logan, DC. And so the point is that, and then I have family that and friends, of course, throughout the DMV. I mean, the DC area, DC itself is small. It's got a population of around 800,000. And, the truth of it is that DC and Maryland and Virginia bleed into one another. People are moving in and out all the time. So, of course, I am licensed in all three areas, from 2004 to present. Yeah.
So if you're thinking about moving, I know a guy. If you're thinking about going in and out of DC, one of the best experts out there, give a shout out to Lou. Don't feel afraid to text him. He loves that. So in that process, get out to him early so he can help you through the whole time. 19 years of experience.
That's right. And if you're looking for a great moving company, this is your guy right here.
Little Moyer and Sons. Do we
That's
go
right.
to DC? Absolutely. It's a ridiculous thing people ask me all the time. Of course, we take care of DC, the DMV, and the whole nation.
Yeah.
So,
even international.
International. We'll do it.
That's crazy.
We'll do it.
Yeah, there you go.
So Viva the Life Properties. Don't forget to reach out. I'll put all the information right at the very end of this, and enjoy.